And we are live. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Global Citizens. My name is Calvin. I'm the show's creator and host. So my guest for today is Miss Rafiya Sultana. She's a speaker, she's an author, and she is a trainer, and she is an expert in neuro-linguistic program, trained directly by Dr. Richard Bandler, the co-creator of the very program itself. So first off, Rafiya, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Calvin. I'm fine, and thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast.
Thank you so much for coming too. All right, so before I begin, I actually want to send a prayer and good luck to those who actually have been suffering from some of the natural disasters that's been happening around this world today. So, for example, we have the certain wildfire incidents in Australia, in
Yeah,
Philippines. Also, there's a lot of unfortunate incidents.
yeah.
And for myself, I've actually was stuck in my house for 3 days at one point during the flooding in Indonesia.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no worries, no
Okay.
worries. I mean, we have electricity and we still have food, so we are fine. But there are those who suffer a lot of damages. Like, for example,
My
one of my
prayers to
mother's
all of
friends,
them. Yeah, my prayers to them and deep condolences to people who lost their lives in this disaster. Hope things get better soon. We can
indeed.
pray for them. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right. So, my first question is actually on how you started your career on this journey in pursuing as a speaker. And along with that, what are the challenges that you have faced? And in your opinion, what could have been something that is like a form of support or a value that could be given to you when you first started your journey and your current present situation where you are more established?
Okay. Okay, thank you for your question. So, very first question, why I got into speaking? Actually, if you see my profile, I'm from a technical background. I was in aeronautics. I was an aeronautics engineer before changing my career to who I am today. And I was aspiring astronaut. It was my childhood dream. From age 7 onwards, this is what I have been planning to be when I grow up. Somehow I don't even know ABC about of astronaut at that age, but somehow it could not happen. And I managed to complete my graduation in engineering, and I managed to get to work in an aeronautics firm for a while. But suddenly everything I had to change. I had to stop my career. Somehow I could not pursue my dream of being an astronaut. But I think since I have been thinking a lot, and I tied my happiness, my goals, everything in and around this goal of being an astronaut. I really did not focus or value anything else in my life. So when suddenly it could not happen, my life is kind of shifted
Yeah.
completely to a whole new different direction, which was undesirable. I got into I mean, it was emotional trauma for me to accept this fact first of all, and to get used to it, and to get the clarity, because I have no idea if this is not what I am, what else I can do. I mean, I was so young to understand and accept these things. So it took 2 years for me to first of all figure out, like, what could be my
Who
next
you are
step.
outside of your dream, yeah.
Sorry.
Is it to figure out who you are outside of your initial dream, yeah?
Exactly, because I think we as human, we sometimes we focus on certain things so much that we kind of ignore the other aspects of our own personality. So I think that's what happened to me. So I took 2 years, 2 long years to focus and understand first of all, like, what could be my next goal and what all I want to do, and is it really worth it? I mean, I got into such a mental trauma, thinking that my life just end. There's nothing beyond this. So after 2 years of self discovery process, I realized my strengths. I worked on my strengths, that these are my strengths. I can do better on this. And then I realized on my weaknesses, like, these are my weaknesses. So it was a journey, actually. I mean, I'm writing all this in my book, upcoming book, so they can understand. So then by the time I realized like these are my strengths. So one of the strengths I realized is speaking and motivating others through my experiences. It's not only about, yes, I mean, I have my certifications and I have my credibility in what I'm doing today, but I think that is not the only thing that is defining my passion to help people. What defines the passion for me to be a trainer, to be a speaker, is to make them realize, like, what else they have got in them. And this life is so valuable and so beautiful. If we focus and if we pay attention to a tiny things about our own personality, we can get to the point where we can not only transform our own life, but we will get the ability to transform others.
I
So
see.
that's yeah, that's one of the strength I realized. But of course, when we are doing what we love, definitely we will shine. Maybe it may take time, not immediately. It may not happen overnight. It's a journey, and we have to go through. And the best and one thing to be noted is there's no shortcut. There's no
Indeed.
shortcut for the success, and we have to go through that grind, because we need to learn all the lessons required in this process, in this journey. Like through all the failures that we learn these lessons, eventually they are going to help us, yeah, to fast track our journey of success or achieving goals, whatever. So this is what, so one of in my journey of self discovery, I realized that speaking and motivating others is one of my key strengths that I was naturally blessed. Even I did not realize that I have that. And how I got into it is like, I was very active, I'm still active in humanitarian work. So I started as a passion to contribute my skills, because since I was in pain, I feel like people who are in pain are my relatives. So I was trying to surround myself. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I was attracted more and more to those people and to understand them, what is happening in their life. So that's where it all started. But eventually, it led me to the point where I am today, that even I did not even think that I could achieve. But I think it all happened because I focused more on my strengths. That was your first question. And next question you asked me, like, what are the challenges? Definitely,
Yep.
as I told you, like, there's no shortcut. Even we try for shortcuts, definitely it's not going to work out. So
Yeah.
especially, yeah,
Because
especially,
if you follow the
yes.
shortcut, it might not people might not feel that you are competent enough to actually do what you are doing. Yeah.
I think it's not only about people, Kavin. It's about a personal journey. I mean, before being accountable to others, first of all, we need to be accountable to our own personality. And I think the your true self will not come out if you're not following through the process. No matter how much we fake it, people do realize we cannot fool them. We cannot fake about something that we don't have. As in, if you think that you cannot give something to others which you do not have. Like if
Absolutely.
I ask you, like, give me, okay, Carmen, give me, $1,000 right now, or like, $1,000, $20,000 right now. I mean, you may have
I
it.
have 1,000 rupiah. I have 1,000 rupiah. If you want, I can give it to you, and 20,000, but not 1,000 USD or Sing dollars.
Exactly, but still, I keep on asking you the same thing. Definitely, what you will say,
I don't
no,
have
I
it.
don't
I got
have,
you.
right? So you cannot give me something which you do not have. I mean, willingness is different, whether you want to give or not. But first of all, the primary requisite is like we need to possess first of all to give out to someone else. So
Okay,
if you really need to acquire those skills, or if you really want to achieve our goals, first of all, we need to have that fire or passion in our own personality to acquire them. And for that, we need patience to go through this great grind, rather than trying to find out for the shortcuts. So
yep.
that's one of the realization. And my biggest challenge was like definitely the clarity. Very first was clarity, like what to do. And once I realized that this is what I want to do, what could be my next steps, So then comes like I have been living in different parts of the world. Like now I'm based in Singapore, and I lived in Dubai, and I lived in different parts of the world. And everywhere culture is different,
Absolutely.
and people are different, and we need to get adapted to it. And we need to have an open mind and heart to accept and adapt to the culture that we are living in, because that's how we can survive and we can build better relationships. So my biggest challenge was the clarity. I think more than the external factors, I had more of internal internal factors, having not having enough clarity, not having enough experience in what I plan to do. And also how, I mean, like, okay, for with some effort, if I get to know like XYZ are the steps to be followed, how I can start, where to start. So these are the challenges. So definitely to deal with those challenges, what helped me was connecting with the right people,
Yep.
guidance. I definitely want to mention about APS, especially my speaking journey, which helped me to fast track my speaking journey, Asia Professional Speakers Singapore. So I feel that when we have fixed goal, or when we have a certain goals to achieve, we need to find our tribe who are already there or who achieve those goals, and just be surrounded with them. Actually, one of my tool that I share in my trainings, SMILE. So S is surround yourself with positive. S is surround yourself with positive and like-minded people. Like-minded, as in, if you know that this is what you want to achieve, just go ahead and just surround yourself. No matter, you just go with the open mind. You need not to expect anything. You need not to contribute much, but just go and feel that energy, because that energy kind of uh, creates a base
Yep.
to give you the idea where to start with. So this is what I'm sharing out of my experience. So that's one thing. SM is mentor. A smile in smile. M, having a mentor. So mentor who have been there and done this. So once you start surrounding yourself with the people who are in your who already achieved the goal that you're planning to achieve in your life, so you kind of get some ideas, and then definitely you will find someone who are much more aligned with your belief system, whom you
Yep.
think that you can trust, you can believe, and you can share your concerns, and you can approach them for the guidance. Sometimes they might be the professionals, professional coaches, and sometimes they might be your friends, or sometimes they could be your we do meet at we do meet with people sometimes at networking events, and sometimes we feel that connection, like, okay,
Yeah.
when once we start sharing our ideas, okay, okay, your idea is good. So meeting more and more these kind of people kinds of opens up your mind, gives you more ideas, as in to create your path, what could be your next step. Again, I'm telling you, it could not be the right step or wrong step, so it doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. What matters most is like,
As long as
just
you
go
learn.
ahead, keep
Yep.
moving. As long as you're learning,
I
just
understand that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you are
So
saying
these are the challenges.
SMILE?
SM, then I is invest in yourself. So this SMILE is
Yep.
something which helped me to deal with the challenges. So that's why I'm telling you, this is the tool usually I even train that I use in my training. So I is investing in yourself.
Yep.
We sometimes think too much to invest in our own self. Maybe we spend for the shopping, and we go for the holidays, but once you start investing in your own personality to improve yourself for your personal and professional development, you will be amazed to see the results. Definitely, like, once you settle well, that's what you can do. I mean, once you're doing well, you can definitely go for shoppings and all. But first of all, what is there in you? I mean, if my glass is empty, I cannot give it to others. First of all, I need to fill up my glass. And to fill up my glass, first of all, I need to realize my strengths, and then I also need to know how I can use my strengths um, to achieve my goals, and also to reach the level that I want to reach. So SM mentorship definitely helps because they can save your time. Definitely, it is a
Yeah,
process
because they
of
have already
trial and
experienced.
error. Nothing. Yes, they have experience, so they can share their journey with you. So they, I mean, again, it need not be exactly the same. What their journey could be different, your journey could be bit different. But once they share their experience, once you align their advice with your own personality and with your own belief system, and if you think that these two are matching together, you can go ahead. So this
Yep.
kind of saves your time. L. I think I'm done with I. S M I. Next letter is
Yes.
L.
L.
So next letter is L. L is
Pay attention to my guess, in case people want to say that.
yeah. So L is looking at the bigger picture. As we know, journey of success is not straightforward. Everyone who reached a certain point, definitely they have gone through this grind of failures and winning so. But throughout this journey, they are learning something. But to,
Yep.
I mean, why people give up on the way to this journey? Because not many
You
people
don't get
have
enough
got that
results, right?
strength to deal results. So we get, either we get impatient, right, and we also do not have the strength to deal with the failures, because that's the defining factor for your strength as an
Yep.
achiever. If you could get hold of yourself, and if you could be able to successfully manage your emotions during your failures, nobody can stop you, because that is the defining point, and that's exactly the point where people tend to have this tendency to give up.
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually
So
can relate to a lot of what you said because when I was younger, my aspiration was to be a military officer. Then I want to become a lawyer. Then I want to do something with regards to being a diplomat. Well, none of
mhm.
that come true. So I need to find another path. And I do agree because when I first started my channel, I have a lot of setbacks. In fact, my very first episode, the camera was spoiled so badly that in the end my image was blurred. I the only regret I have is I'm really sorry to my guest at that time because he need to make the time to come to the show. So yeah, I can really relate to a lot of these.
But you
Oh,
learned
sorry.
the important lesson that, but learn you learned your
Yeah, sorry, sorry.
important lesson. Definitely, like for every next interview, you'll make sure this thing is taken care. So it happens with
Ab-
everyone. That's how we learn and grow. And there
Absolutely.
is one interesting question. Recently, after one of the event, there is one young girl. I mean, she came and she started appreciating my efforts, and she says like, "You're very inspiring, everything." Then like they said, she asked me what course or certification I can do to help, or what university you think it works well. So are you a PhD? I mean, how you can get into get so deep into the subject of what you talk or train about. So are you a PhD in your topic? Guess what I answered to her?
You have a PhD in life. Is that something? Oh, am I right or no? Okay, no way.
Yeah, well, I answer her that I have a PhD in making mistakes.
Oh, okay. I have
That's
halfway there. Halfway.
because that's where I learn. I think more than what we learn in our education system, personal experiences. I think we learn more with our personal experiences, and the more impact and the more important lessons of life we learn are through our failures and our mistakes.
Absolutely.
So the biggest aspect of myself that helped me to grow and to move forward is this thing: having courage to take risk, having courage to bring yourself out there and make mistakes. Make mistakes. Don't be scared of making mistakes, but learn. Mistake
Yes,
is a
absolutely.
mistake turns into a failure only when you're not learning your lesson. But if you commit a mistake, but you're learning your lesson, then it cannot be a failure, and nobody in this world can take this mistake as a failure. Because before anyone else define your failure, you are the one who will define your failure. So
Okay, okay.
feel free to commit mistakes, but don't let it turn
Learn.
into failure, because it turns
Yep.
into failure only when you're not learning your lesson.
Hmm. That's a really, really golden nugget, everybody here. You can make mistake, but learn from it, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I think you are missing one more letter, E, right?
E,
Or
yes.
wasn't
So
it?
the
No.
last
Yes.
letter is E. E is exercise.
Oh.
Yes.
Physically or mentally?
E, exercise, physical, mental, and emotional.
Oh.
And
Okay,
if
okay.
you want to achieve success, and if you think that you want to live the life of your dreams, and also maintain better relationships in your life, this is one of the aspect of your life that you need to focus on. We cannot neglect this. Physical exercise, as in your habits, because your habits will define the rate of your success, how fast you can achieve your goals. In a 24 hours in a day, how you're planning your day will define your next day, and then the next quantity. What you're doing tomorrow will define your day after tomorrow. What you're doing today in a 24 hours, and how you're utilizing it. And when you take time to exercise your physical body, as we know, like when we exercise, our dopamine levels goes low, which helps our mind to calm down and maintain that balance, which is equally important. And besides that, it keeps you into a kind of discipline is very important, as we know, to achieve our goals. And it puts you into, of course, you look good. I mean, you can be fit and you can be away from all the health issues, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical practitioner, so I don't want to get more deeper into that. But it will definitely helps you, both at the physical and mental level, because it controls your dopamine levels, and it puts you into, a sense of discipline, which will keep reminding you that, okay, this is my time of exercise, and it will take care of your body. And definitely you feel more confident about yourself.
Yep.
That's the physical.
Okay.
Mental exercise. Mental exercise is something, it's again boils down to your habits. If your habits, as in, like, if you are a spiritual person, you can go with a meditation. If you are a religious person, you can start praying. All these, and if you are someone who likes to read books, all these are actually exercises, mental exercises. You're training your brain to be disciplined, and also acquire the knowledge which help you to grow, at professional and personal level. So you can choose whatever books you want, you can choose whatever, but this is a kind of exercise. If we see most of the highly achieving brands, they all have this certain habits. People who are highly successful, if we read their biographies and all, they have a certain discipline in their life, and that discipline boils down to their physical health and also their mental health.
Yes, yes,
Otherwise,
I agree.
with such
I agree with you.
it's such definitely, yeah. So because with such a big responsibility that they're taking care of, if they don't balance their physical mental aspects, not be as productive as they're expected to be at their workforce, or to work towards their goals, to take their career to the next level.
Yes,
So this
Mark
is
Cuban, I believe, has a habit of playing basketball every single morning, and I think in his earliest acquireship of Dallas Mavericks, he would play with his star player Dirk Nowitzki in order to really shows that he actually is willing to step on the front line along with his guys. So yeah, I can relate to that. That's true. That's true.
there are many examples. I mean, once you Google it, you can get all the people who are highly successful. They do focus. They may not talk much about this thing because the result speaks a lot when we are more focused on their results, but we hardly focus on how they achieve their results, right? There is a process.
Indeed.
Nothing happens overnight. So what differently they are doing than others, that is putting them into the place where they are today? If we start focusing on that, we will find our answers very quickly. So
Um,
physical, mental, and emotional.
Emotional. Yep.
Emotional exercise. So that's where my expertise comes from. I speak a lot about emotions, managing emotions, working on emotions, how your emotions can impact your life, impact your growth at a professional and personal level.
Okay.
Emotional,
That's
yes. How you practice your emotions, how you exercise your emotions. It starts with paying attention to your emotions, how you're reacting to certain uh, to the events which are happening in your life, how you're communicating with others, what are the emotional imprints that you're leaving when you're communicating with others. It is
okay.
all
Yes.
about, it's a bit deep subject, but it's all about paying attention to this. It makes a huge difference in your life if we start focusing in this tiny aspect of managing your emotions and changing your perspectives by paying attention to your emotions. So how we can exercise? By paying attention to your emotions, and make sure that you're not reacting but responding to each and every event which is happening in your life.
Mm, okay.
Each
Okay.
and yes.
That is, yes, yes. I can relate to a lot of this thing actually, because when I returned back to Indonesia a year ago, and a lot of things that has been I've been trained on, especially by my dad, is
Mm-hmm.
actually on prayers. Yeah, I prayed twice in a day. So yeah, I can really relate to that, and it has done wonders for me. So yes, I can attest that what you say is really true, and I agree with it. Okay, Rafia, my next two questions is actually going to be based on what you have said earlier. So first one is this: in the last 5 years, yeah, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life by spending time in the countries you live and work at? And a follow up to that is that what have you gained from them? Like what are maybe their characteristics that you feel is something that actually benefits you in order to for you to do well in what you are doing.
Okay, Kavi. So one habit that helped me to have an open mind,
Okay.
not being judgmental,
Ah,
because as
yes.
we are I
I
think that
can
always
understand. I
helps.
agree.
That kind of helps, like especially when we are dealing when we are living in a country which is not your home country. And it doesn't matter, it's even when you're living in a home country, our workforce is always like we have people from different cultures and different background and different nationalities. So there's no escape on this, so we have to learn this habit of accepting and adapting to the new culture without being judgmental based on the background. It could be, I mean, do not focus on the diversity, but only focus on what are the good things they have, what are the great things that we can learn from them. Look for the good. Ignore that you think that not good for you, but it doesn't mean that that's the reality. Even in NLP we use, it's like your map is not the territory. That means what you think and believe need not be the same for everyone else around you and everyone else in this world, because people are different. They have different belief systems, they have different cultures, and they have different way of living their lives. So what is right for you need not be the right for the other person. What
Indeed.
is what is good for you, what is wrong for you need not be the wrong for the other person. It could be other way around. So if we learn this art of respecting the other person's opinion and not being judgmental, it is very important. not being judgmental, not judging others based on their background, based on their religious beliefs, or based on their, just accept and communicate with every other person you meet as just as a human, keeping all these differences aside. Once you start communicating with every other human as if they are same human and they are born with the same flesh and blood like you, and rest everything is formed later on. And if you really want to build better relationships, the easy tip is like, think that this is the last conversation that you are ever having with the other person. That will totally change your mindset. Let's say, like,
Okay.
if you're talking to one of your friend, who or maybe a kind of not a friend but whom you don't like much, but you, and imagine that you're leaving that country, okay, and you're saying bye to everyone, and that person is standing next to all these people whom you love a lot. So how you respond or how you talk to that person?
As a whole, as a collective, right? I mean, even if you say
No, no,
goodbye,
no.
it's
Individually, when you're saying bye to your friends and that person is also standing, so, and you think, and that's the point. Like, you will never ever come back to that place again, and you're leaving
yeah,
that place for good. So how
yeah.
you respond, or what will be your attitude towards that person who you personally don't like, but you have to say bye when you realize that this is your last conversation with that person.
That's a very, very deep question, actually, to me. Well, I guess being a guy, if it's a guy, I'll just give him a fist bump. But I mean, there's no way I can say thank you for being such a jerk influence in my life. That you helped me to grow up. I don't. I mean, you don't grow up and then you thank your police later on, right? Or is it okay? Yeah, that's my theory. That's my theory.
Yeah, but at least, I mean, do you have any tendency to be harsh in your words with them when you know that this is your last conversation with them? No,
Well,
right? No.
personally to me, no.
No, definitely no. I mean, I think in most of the cases, like, as we are human, this is a human tendency. When we know that this is a last conversation with that person, our psychology changes. So based on that, our physiology changes. The way we approach people. So if we think that this is a last conversation with every stranger that you're talking, so obviously your way of thinking differs. But before approaching, have this clarity in your mind that don't be judgmental. Just go and approach people with open mind and accept them with open heart.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, having lived in Singapore for 15 years, I actually agree with that because Singapore itself is a cocktail of multiple ethnicities
Yeah.
and diversity. So I can agree to that. It's because you draw the perspective from each of the different races. So as a result,
Yeah.
it forms. Okay, that's a very good advice actually. Guys, please
Yes.
keep an open mind. Don't just follow things based on stereotypes or maybe sometimes in what is depicted in media could be how you see something, but that's not the right way to approach it. Yeah.
Your map is not
Okay.
your territory.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Rafia. So I actually want to focus a little bit more on mindset. Yeah. So in your professional opinion, right, what do you think the millennial and post-millennial generations could do to succeed in this new era, in the digital media era, in an era of globalization? How could they toughen their resilience and mental fortitude so that they are more productive and they are able to be much more able to accomplish what they wanted? Because one of the concerns that I've been hearing is that a lot of the millennial generations are lazy, entitled, they have no loyalty to where they are supposed to be. Whereas for me is well, I'm part of this generation as much as I can. So one thing that I observe is that it's not that they are just all this. It's that there's a difference in mindset, in generational gap, and this is their own way of expressing. How would you assist with this area, Rafiya?
So first of all, to start with, let me mention that I'm a millennial myself.
Oh,
So,
oh, hello.
so this conversation going to be really interesting.
That's the intention.
So yeah, I'm a millennial, but as I'm more into mindset and perspective, so I am little mature compared to I mean the way now world is stereotyping millennials. So I'm neither
And
supporting nor I'm at a neutral phase right now. So
don't worry, I
I'm
will
more
focus on other people
I'm
because
more
I'm
into
very excited to go.
so I'm more into mindset. So this is one of the reason I got into perspective, like when I wanted to change my life, obviously that was exactly my mindset. Being a millennial, I think that was a millennial thing I was expressing. But what I
Yeah,
realized is like when we focus on a mindset and when we focus on how we are uh, on strengths, I mean, it's a kind of if we focus more on our inner journey or if we do a bit of inner work, it is possible to break through all the blames and
names
everything which
and
is
image. Yeah,
given. Yeah, so the image or the stereotyping which is created by, as I said, map is not the territory, it applies to everyone. So what people
yep,
says about millennials, it could be their own personal opinion, or it could be
indeed.
true to some extent, to some degree. Maybe this is the pattern which is a common pattern, but there's nothing wrong in being who you are and accepting who you are. I think the toughest part, even like when I'm dealing with many of my clients, like I have clients from the millennial age group to the people who are like baby boomers, like 70 plus 50 plus. So I have worked with my profession have given me this opportunity to work and talk to different people from different age groups. So what I realized is, right, it is true that we always have a pattern when we have certain age group, but that is not it about it. People who pay attention, they do change and they do adapt on things which are not helping them to grow or which are creating blockers in their path. So it's all about paying attention, whether you're a millennial or a baby boomer, or it's whether you're a Gen Z or whoever you are. So we tend to behave in certain way because I mean because of the
Yeah,
stereotypes. There's a whole lot of theory to explain it. But the point is like we need to ask only one question to ourselves, like whatever behavior that we are exhibiting or whatever behavior that we are observing in others, doesn't matter, I mean, no matter what generation they are, is it helping you, is it helping them? So for me as a professional, when I coach professionals, when I coach senior managers, or when I train professionals, what I see, like it's a mixture. I cannot be biased when I deliver my content, but I need to make sure it is relevant and acceptable and is of a value for each and every attendee sitting in my class or sitting in my training room, and they are getting benefited out of my content. So how I could be able to do it when I'm being millennial, when I don't, because I cannot be everyone at the same time to
yep.
understand them, but I can be a human if I'm thinking from a human level, understanding the other human at the human level without being biased or without being judgmental, putting people into their box. It is possible to understand and add value to each other's life. So that's what helps me in my work. So for the
Okay.
millennials, what I say, I mean, if based on the stereotypes which is already there, have some patience.
Yeah, I agree. I truly agree. Okay,
Ha-
I see that there were some viewers early. There was several viewers. So for those of you who
okay.
just tuned in for this channel for the very first time, Global Citizens is a channel whereby I invited third culture kids, cross culture kids, basically like myself,
Mm-hmm.
expatriate like Rafiya is, and nomads. And well, on occasions, I do invite international speakers to come. And Rafiya is actually also a speaker, so she fulfilled two criteria. The reason being is that the reason why I invited individuals who spent a considerable time overseas is because when you are somebody who comes to a new country to visit during the holidays, it's well, you are there for a holiday. You will be at a tourist attraction spot, you will be at a local cuisine. So it's a brand new experience that will allow you to have much more positive feelings.
Yeah.
But when you live there, you spend your time there, you work there, you see ups and downs. You see the positivity, you see the negativity. And sad to say, I sometimes do see racism that you actually forms who you are, that actually builds your mindset. So that is why I invited such individuals. Okay, Rafiya, so in your line of work, have you ever felt that there's an advice that is considered a negative advice? And do you have, okay, in this channel, I don't like to call it a failure. I call it a favorite learning opportunity. Something that
Yes.
comes to mind that
Yes.
becomes a life changing for you.
Yes, it's absolutely true. Failure is not a failure, it's just a mistake, and there is a way to correct that mistake is learning a lesson and moving forward through the lesson. So, there, in fact, in my place, even in NLP terms, what we say is like there is no such word exists as failure, it's always feedback.
Hmm. Oh,
There
can I
is
use that?
no, sure, why not?
Okay.
There is no word such word exists as failure, but I'm repeating this because it's very very important. It's a life changing if people can accept and implement in their lives. So if there's no such word called failure, it's only a feedback. So this actually sums up with the answer to your question as well, because since you asked me what is a negative,
Yep.
right? So to me, there is no negative and there is no positive. Everything changes based on the kind of state of mind you are at that moment. When my state of mind is not so receptive, if someone is giving me advice and it I cannot see a much of a value because I'm not being so receptive. I'm not communicating with a growth mindset, but I am having my fixed mindset and I'm only focusing on that. So, since I am a professional more into perspectives, I speak a lot about perspectives because perspectives do have the impact in every aspect of your life. The way you communicate with others, the way you work at your workplace, the way you grow in your career. So, it is all about the perspective. So, your answer is like yes. I'm so blessed to get the guidance from the people who believed in me from different backgrounds. I mean, a few of my friends, maybe my family friends, and also many professionals that I'm working with, and also a few of my mentors who helped me throughout it in my journey. So yes, I received certain um, advice which it felt to me negative at that time, but I give myself having not enough maturity to understand and implement, because it's not only about receiving the advice but it is also about implementing in your journey.
Okay.
If someone is giving me advice and I am not implementing it in a way how it's supposed to be implemented, and if I am blaming the other person who is giving me advice as a negative, then I am being biased,
Yes, it is true.
or I am being escapist, not having the courage to accept my own mistake. So the toughest part so far, even with my most of my clients that I work as a coach, this is the biggest challenge I face. So that's where I help them to safely navigate through the journey of their emotion to excellence. So what I feel is the biggest emotion that they have is to accept that there is something wrong which is not helping me. If we could not accept this fact that there is something which is not helping me, and if we start focusing only on the people who caused this, then we are wasting our time. Yes, people will give you many advices. There is no right or wrong, there is no good and bad. Anything that works for you is good, anything that is not working for you is a way of learning a lesson through it which will eventually help you. So I put it in this context. I will not say that if anyone who are there for you to support, we should respect their opinion and that they shared with you or advice, because it is your choice. I am who I am today because of my choice. It is my choice to go and ask that opinion, ask his advice to this person. It is my choice to whether or not to implement his advice, his or her advice. It is my choice to put how much effort I want to put into this. So I think I am who I am because of my choices, not because of others' advice. But yes, definitely I need to be grateful for the people who gave me the right advice at the right time to be on the right path.
I
But if
actually
there
like
are,
this particular line. The reason being is that one of the things I notice as because in my background in sales, a lot of times somebody will say, "I just follow what my mentor says,"
yes,
but what I see is that they are what I don't think a mentor will ever give you a negative advice, but the advice that they give is based from their own perspective and their
exactly,
experience, what has
exactly,
worked for them. So as a result, you are not him or her, and as a result, if you just blindly follow it, you might not get the same result, or you might not get the result, and it is, in a sense, it is unfair to blame your mentor for it. But at the
yes.
same time, it is also something that you have to have the responsibility for. Yeah.
Yes. So it's not about blame game, because by blaming you're not gaining anything. You're just simply wasting your time and energy, that energy and time that you put in to find another solution to the problem rather than focusing more on the problem. If you keep finding the reasons to blame others, blame yourself, blame the surrounding, that means ultimately you are losing your time and energy, which is definitely not desirable. We need to respect our time. And if we think that our growth is being slow, it could be one of the reasons, because when our mind is trained, redefined, and reprogrammed in such a way that we can focus only on positive in each and every aspect of our life, opportunities do change, opportunities do come in your way, and people do support in a way that you expect them to be. But it is very true, Kavin, as you mentioned, that people do give opinions and share their experiences because who they are. I am a different, my mentor is a different. We
Yes.
both have a different life path, and we both have a different experiences, and we both have a different level of expertise and also a different strengths, which is defining who we are and how we can shine in what we are doing, or moving forward, how we can grow in a certain way. So it's
Indeed.
definitely true. It is definitely true to go and ask people, but also ask one question to yourself, like whatever they're sharing with you, is it in alignment with your belief system? Do you really follow? Do you, is it who you are? If they're suggesting something and if you're trying to be something who you are not because someone else told you to do so, then that means your personality may not shine as it's supposed to be, because it's a proven fact that the moment you are being yourself, it reflects in your personality. The moment you are being fully authentic and aware about who you are, it reflects in each and every effort that you're putting into your life. And all these efforts and all the opinions that we accumulated from through others advice, or all the opinions that we accumulated through our belief system, or the culture, or the background, or the childhood, the kind of childhood we have, or the kind of people we are living with, these are the kind of stuff which forms a
Correct.
perspective about every other thing we do, perspective about every other person we are communicating, perspective about our own strengths or weakness. So I feel that I think it's slightly uh, ignored part of personality. Yes, mindset is a bigger umbrella. There are many people who speak about mindset, it's true, but I don't think only one person can cover the whole mindset part, because it is not possible.
Yes.
People
I
are
can
different.
actually find a quote from the late Albert Einstein. He says that logic is the combination of negative experience gathered from the age of 18. I guess
Yes,
this, like, in order for you to succeed, this is where you have to redefine what is your definition of logic, right?
definitely, because we cannot even there's one more quote by Albert Einstein saying that we cannot solve the problem with the same kind of consciousness that we created it.
Yeah.
If something there
Yes,
is
indeed.
which is not helping you, if your consciousness is not helping you to resolve the problem, and if you expect to resolve the problem with the same level of consciousness, it is not possible. So that's where I speak and train and talk a lot about perspectives, because will your perspectives can change your life, everything into a positive from negative. But we need to work, it's a bit of inner work that we need to focus on our inner world, like whether it's clear and positive, and are we getting into any kind of negativity. So it's a kind of check. So that's what I do as a professional. So if they're getting, if their thought process or if their emotions and if their perspectives are formed based on the background and the characteristics or the opinions of others which are negative, obviously their perspectives will be negative, and which will result in a negative, which will give negative results, which is not desirable.
Yeah.
So that's where I come into picture. So to change, to transform their thought process, to unlock the power of transforming their emotions, unlock the power of transforming their perspectives, to live abundant and successful life. So yes, and also purposeful, having a purpose.
Okay.
So
Rafiya. Okay, sorry. This is my last question actually. What three advice would you give to somebody who is just graduating from college, or they are at the cross points of their life because they want to determine a career, because life is not set in stone, right? You definitely want to progress as time goes, right?
yes,
What would you advise to them with regards to your own personal experience?
for the college students, definitely one thing they need to focus on is having a clarity
Okay.
before stepping into the world, which is totally unknown and alien to you, because you have been protected till this phase, and your next step is totally about yourself. So everything you do, it will reflect in your life. It's all about choices. So definitely at initial phase, nobody knows. So it's okay. First thing, it's okay if you do mistake. If you commit mistakes, that's fine, totally fine. So don't be scared to commit mistakes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
in the area of where you want to grow, it doesn't mean that you go and hurt everyone. I'm definitely not giving that message. My message here is, first of all, first step is to have a clarity what you want to do. Second step comes in
Yep.
when you take steps to achieve your goals after having the clarity that this is what you want to do. It's okay to commit mistakes. Don't get disheartened about these mistakes.
As long
And
as we learn from them.
as long as you learn, as long as you're learning, which is very important, that's how we grow, that's how we learn. And it is equally important to learn, to grow. We need to learn before we grow. We cannot grow without learning, and to learn
Yeah.
we need failures and mistakes. So it's okay, it's a part of the process. It's not something that is undesirable. It is not something alien, or it is not something that you're doing and you're messing up. It's okay to mess up sometimes, but you're
Yeah.
learning. As long as you're taking even point, not 1% of action towards your goal, could be positive or negative, that means you're still on your path.
Indeed.
And third
Indeed.
point is, have confidence. The moment when you step out of your
Comfort zone.
academics world and your campus, it is the defining factor to have to prove yourself of who you are. And this confidence, building confidence, if you do not have confidence so far for whatsoever reasons, or you did not get the opportunity area of your personality, please take time to work on your confidence, because it can change your life and it will help you till the point and throughout your life actually.
Indeed.
And it is bit, I think, of course, I've seen in many of the educational institutions they have incorporated many different programs, the communication skills and all, which is true. But I feel if people who have all the skills but they do not have the confidence to present, but if they do not have the confidence and awareness of what their strengths are, because how we get that confidence, usually how we gain that confidence, if I am really good in doing something, naturally I gain that confidence. And if I am being courageous to share my opinion without fear, I'm confident.
Yep.
When I have the
Indeed.
courage to approach people to ask for help or ask for the guidance, being a fresh or new graduate, you need confidence. When you are joining in a workforce and you need to interact with your boss, you need confidence. And if you are an employee who have been working on certain project, and when you need to present before all the higher management people, you need confidence.
Indeed.
Even
So
if you're finding your wife
con-
or a girlfriend, or if you're finding a boyfriend, obviously you need a confidence to approach them
uh,
and share your feelings with them, right? So it is
yeah,
important.
I can apply that. I try to apply that. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think this is my advice. Please, in fact, I have been working with few of the educational institutions to build up their curriculum, confidence curriculum in the education system. I feel that it is highly important, and um, there is a bit of work which is happening, but I think it is not up to mark. It is not, definitely not enough. If students are trained well enough to build their confidence, specifically for confidence, I'm not only talking about communication skills, I'm not only talking about public speaking. Yes, it could be a part or may not be a part of their thing. I feel, I strongly believe, and moving forward, this is what I want to incorporate in education system, that having a confidence building curriculum, because that can help them throughout their journey once they step out of their universities or once they step out of their education system, when they start working in the workforce.
I think this is actually one benefit also in NLP specialization. It's because if we break down the word, neuro is brain, linguistic is language, right? So
Yes,
as a result, when this is applied in practice, it allows you to break what is known as a common body language or as a common perspective, and then you redefine it
yes,
in a way that improves your life. Am I right to say that, Rafia?
definitely. NLP just it's in a nutshell, it's a study of excellence. To achieve excellence, how you can redefine and reprogram your mindset, which can transform your perspectives in such a way that you can excel in every aspect of your life. It could be a personal and professional, because we also need to balance a professional and personal. If you're shining if you're shining good enough in your professional career, and if you don't have that in your personal life, there is no balance.
Indeed,
As a
indeed.
human, we need a holistic growth. It's not only about our it is not only about the success in this at the professional level, also at the personal level. Whether are you being a good family member, or a good husband or good wife or good parent, no matter what you are, everything is defined by your perspective. Your perspective about the future of your children as a parent, your perspective about as a husband of your wife,
Indeed.
and yes, and if you're working as a professional, so your perspective about the mission and vision of the organization, is it aligned with your personal vision, whether you could be able to participate in the goal achieving process of your team, aligning your mission and vision with the organization's mission and vision. So definitely NLP is one of the studies. There are many different tools which you can acquire, which you think, because everyone are different, not everyone, for everyone the same formula may not work. Like for my clients, I
Indeed.
have people from different background, different age groups, so I cannot apply, because these techniques are fixed. We
Yep.
apply and we follow these techniques in a certain way, but as a professional, what we learn and what we practice through our experience working with many different professionals, is what we learn is to tweak in and connect with the people the way they are based on their background, and provide them solution. In fact, not even provide them solution, help them open their horizons as a professional in my area of perspective or mindset. Then they could find their own solutions, because which is lacking because they are not accepting there is something which is not helping them. And the second step goes after accepting, then taking action to change what is not helping them. So throughout this process, they need, if they need someone who want to navigate, safely navigate through their, from their emotion to excellence, so perspective is something which helps. So that's what I do. I help
Right.
people to I help people to transform their perspectives in such a way that they can live abundant and purposeful life by shifting their focus from problems to possibilities, from paradigms to possibilities. So this is what I do. Once their mind is clear, they can find their own solutions.
Okay, guys, that's all the time we actually have for Global Citizens. This is the end of episode 24 of Global Citizens. I want to thank Rafiya so much for coming into the show. This has been really, really insightful golden nuggets. Thank you so much for those who tuned into earlier, and shout out to these three individuals who actually sent a like for this video. This is Jenna Wisley, who actually has been following my videos quite recently. Uncle Pri Suchno, who is actually running a hostel that I frequented when I am in town, and Ben Vogel, who is actually my past guest and whose older brother is actually coming to the show in a later timing. And along with that, Rafia, do you have anything you need to mention? Like, for example, any upcoming workshops or any kind of trainings that you wish to promote?
Well, I have a coaching program. I'm launching NLP group coaching program this year.
Yeah.
One batch is already ongoing. So if anyone were interested for the NLP group coaching, there'll be 3 to 4 members. There will be few one-on-one sections. There will be group sections as well. So if they are more interested and keen to change their life through NLP, I'm here to help you. And besides, if you have any performance issues, if you think that your work in your professional life you're not performing up to your performance, or if you think that you're not using your full potential, if you need someone, I'm here to coach you. And if any of your organizations who are looking for professionals to trainers to train them to improve the team engagement and also the team engagement and performance, improve the performance of your team, I'm here to help you. I have my training programs, Perspectives to Performance, which is my signature training program and also a keynote which I've delivered in on a global stage. At even in December, I delivered in 3 different countries, and it was successful, highly successful. And I'm really glad that I got a positive response from all of them. And I will continue to work more in this area to help people to transform their perspectives to live abundant and unlock the power of transform their perspectives to live abundant and a purposeful life. So if you want to contact me, there is my website. Kavin, are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the websites for to contact Rafia and even her LinkedIn is there. If
Yes.
you do reach out to her, please let her know that you know her through watching my channel or some other way, because it's part of respecting people's privacy also, right?
Yes, I'm
If
also,
you
my
are,
book is coming out, Perspective Matters, A Voyage from Emotion to Excellence, by end of March. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be come by December, which could not happen because of some health reasons. But my book will be out in Amazon. It will be a digital book, Perspective Matters, A Voyage from Emotion to Excellence. So where I will be explaining all the framework and the methodology that I am implementing in my training and workshop and my keynote speeches on the global stage. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me for my book as well.
yeah, please let me know when the book is out. It will be in my Global Citizens page so that my viewers can also see it. All right. And with that, that's the end of Global Citizens episode 24. Thank you so much, Rafia, for coming. And thank you
Thank,
so much for those who tuned in. All right.
thank you, Calvin, for inviting me, and I'm so happy to share my wisdom here. I'm looking forward to connect with you soon.
Sure. All right. Bye bye, Rafia.
Bye.